It's Halloween here in Columbia, a time when monsters, ghouls, and the SEC rule the night. This Saturday, the lights at Williams-Brice Stadium will shine even brighter as the South Carolina Gamecocks look to take on the Tennessee Volunteers. See this and so much more on this week's episode of Capital City Sports. Welcome to Capital City Sports. I'm your host, Jack Taylor. To start things off, the men's soccer team takes on the UNC Charlotte 49ers in a top 25 matchup at the Graveyard. For all the highlights, let's send it to Alyssa Butterson.
We're here tonight at Stone Stadium where the South Carolina Gamecocks take on the Charlotte 49ers looking to defend their home turf. Let's take a look at tonight's highlights. Within the opening minutes of the match, Maxi Rodriguez found the back of the net, giving Charlotte a 1-0 lead. The Gamecocks controlled the possession for the majority of the first half, but were unable to capitalize. In the 60th minute of the game, Luca Meyer sent a beautiful pass over to Bjorn Gudjonsson, where he was able to dive and head in the ball, tying up the game for the Gamecocks. In the 74th minute of the game, Curtis Turner was whistled for a foul on aggressive play, setting up a free kick for Charlotte, which ended up giving them a 2-1 lead. Even after a hard-fought battle, your Gamecocks fell to the 49ers 2-1. The Gamecocks travel to New Mexico to play on Sunday, and then they will return home next Friday for their final game of the season against Kentucky. For Capital City Sports, I'm Alyssa Butterson.
Next, the women's soccer team looks to stay undefeated as they face off against the Ole Miss Rebels in an SEC showdown at Stone Stadium. With all the action from the game, here's John Wagner.
The SEC regular season champs have come back to Stone Stadium for their final game of the regular season. They look to stay undefeated against the Ole Miss Rebels tonight and honor their seniors with a win.
Gamecock women breaking it down before they start this match against Ole Miss. Trying to get this final win of the regular season, go 17-0. And here, Savannah McCaskill, like always, working it through traffic, dumps it off to Claire Studebaker. Got the defense beat. Deja Griffin puts it in right. Oh, not so sure. And offsides is the call. That pesky referee ruining it for everyone now. An Ole Miss toss in. Tatum Alonzo hits it off, and she's going to dump it down to Savannah McCaskill, who just gets a hold of it and turns the burners on. Beats the goalie, bottom left corner. What a rip. 1-0 Gamecocks. And then Savannah McCaskill, once again, look at her tiptoeing out of bounds, keeping the ball in the touchline. Tosses it into Sophie Groff, who, slips the keeper, dumps it for a crap goal. 2-0 Gamecocks, and they did not look back. No real options for Ole Miss in the second half. Gamecocks win. SEC regular season champs. We're going to hear from Coach and Savannah McCaskill after the game.
They have a confidence right now. They want to prove to everybody they're not satisfied. Just like they weren't satisfied with winning a championship, they're going to come out tonight and they make sure they won. So I know they'll keep doing that through the postseason.
It's incredible. I mean, it basically just reiterates the fact that we can do whatever we set our minds to, and we've learned a lot. Even though we've found a way to win games, even in hard situations, we've been able to go back and look at film and learn from even winning games. And so a lot of times you have to have a loss in order to learn from things, but this team has found ways to improve throughout the season and find ways to win.
Behind Savannah McCaskill's record-setting performance today, Gamecocks go home winners 2-0 and finish the season undefeated. They'll go next week to Alabama to start play in the SEC tournament. For Capital City Sports, I'm John Wagner.
Then the volleyball team matches up against the Bayou Bengals. For all the bumps, sets, and spikes, we'll send you to Austin Porter.
We're here at the Carolina Volleyball Center where your 14-6 Lady Gamecocks host the 7-13 LSU Tigers. The Gamecocks are 2-6 in the SEC conference, but they can easily make it 3-6 with a win Friday night. Let's see if they can get it done.
The Gamecocks look ready as they hope to defeat their SEC rival, the LSU Tigers. We start off in the first set here with a powerful kill by Jackie Angermiller. Soon afterwards, Michaela Shields would come get some action of her own with a spike that no one is able to stop. However, LSU would strike back with a monstrous spike by Gina Tillis. Beautiful defense here by the Gamecocks would help them get the 25-20 win in the first set. Second set underway here, and sometimes you don't have to spike the ball to get a point, as LSU's Gina Tillis would show here. Gina would have 15 kills in Friday's matchup, helping give the Tigers a 25-23 win in set number 2. The third set was a war zone as both teams battled hard, exchanging spikes on most plays. There were 11 times where the score was even in this set. However, the Gamecocks would come out with a 25-22 win when LSU's Cheyenne Wood would have a serving error. We're in the fourth set now, and the Tigers would continue to fight hard. However, the Gamecocks would not let out as they held the lead the whole set, eventually ending it with a beautiful spike here by Alicia Starr.
Another signing night here in Columbia as your Gamecocks win 3-1 against the LSU Tigers. This would be their third SEC win of the year, and they look to continue their momentum as they take on the Texas A&M Aggies October 30th at 4 p.m. From Capital City Sports, I'm All Supporter.
There's music in the nighttime sky. Sandstorm 2001 and the alma mater reverberate throughout Willie B. For all the highlights from this exciting matchup between the Gamecocks and the Volunteers, let's go to Ben Parsons.
We're here at Williams-Brice Stadium where 3-4 Carolina Gamecocks are facing off against the 4-2 Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee is coming off of 2 tough defeats at the hands of the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Texas A&M Aggies. Your Gamecocks are coming off a victory against the UMass Minutemen. Let's see how Bentley and the boys fared out this Saturday. The Gamecocks were raring to go as Carolina prepares for their SEC matchup against the Volunteers. On the opening drive of the game, Bentley scrambles for a 16-yard gain to jumpstart the Gamecock offense. Debo Samuel makes a spectacular 21-yard diving catch to bring Carolina to the 2-yard line. Rico Dowdle would ultimately put the Gamecocks up 7 with a 1-yard touchdown run. After a couple drives stall out for both teams, Josh Dobbs rushes for what looks like to be a huge touchdown run. However, a holding call on Tennessee and an unsportsmanlike penalty for the Gamecocks would cause the play to only be a 31-yard gain for the Vols. The Dobbs run set up a 1-yard touchdown run for Jalen Hurd. Tennessee's first drive of the second quarter did not go as planned as Jamarcus King elevated for the interception. The turnover allowed Jake Bentley to throw a strike to Brian Edwards for a 17-yard touchdown to put the Gamecocks up 14-7. The next 2 drives stalled out for the Gamecocks because Jake Bentley got pummeled twice by the Volunteer defense. The Gamecock defense stepped up big to stop the Volunteers from scoring before the end of the half. The Gamecocks led by 7 at the break. After unsuccessful drives for both teams to open up the third quarter, Rico Dowdle jukes out the Volunteer defense for a huge 40-yard rush. Debo Samuel makes an incredible 22-yard reception to put the Gamecocks in the red zone, setting up Elliott Fry for a 28-yard field goal to put the Gamecocks up 17-7. However, Tennessee returned the ensuing kickoff for a touchdown, making it a 3-point game once again. Tennessee would cough up the football in the fourth quarter, putting the Gamecocks in good field position. It didn't take long for the Gamecocks to capitalize off the miscue as Bentley threw a beautiful 35-yard touchdown pass to K.C. Crosby, putting the Gamecocks up 24-14. Dobbs kicks off Tennessee's next drive with a 25-yard pass to Jennings. This connection combo would ultimately result in a 6-yard touchdown pass to put the Vols within 3. After the Gamecocks were forced to punt, Jamarcus King comes up with his second interception of the game. Hayden Hurst makes a huge catch to help the Gamecocks run down the clock. Tennessee would get the ball back with 35 seconds left and attempt a 58-yard field goal that came up just short, sealing the deal in the Gamecocks upset. What a game, folks. Willie B was rocking tonight as your Carolina Gamecocks upset the Volunteers by a final score of 24-21. True freshman quarterback Jake Bentley threw for over 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Jamarcus King had 2 crucial interceptions as the Gamecocks defense was able to shut down the potent Volunteer attack. The Gamecocks will look to keep their momentum going against Missouri next week. From Capital City Sports, I'm Ben Parsons.
Well, that's all for us here in the studio. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at CCS on SGTV for coverage of all the sports here at USC. I'm Jack Taylor. We'll see you guys next week.